was a real scary situation.
And I remember the reporter clearly, just like a tape playing in my head, saying, "We got 5 minutes before it hits the fan." And we started running, and when I started running, the wind was picking me up, and it kind of just yanked the camera all over the place.
We got back to the hotel, ready to get inside, and then the roof starts coming off. One of the scenarios that we were working on, we went out back, and I was doing a stand-up.
Take a look as the wind is whipping through Port Charlotte here.
And all of a sudden, half of the roof just flies off. I'm not talking about a house roof. I'm talking about half of the hotel roof.
Lands about 20 feet from us, like over the top of us.
Just flies over, hits the water, and makes like the biggest splash I ever seen. I was so scared that I was yanked up like this. I was not rolling at the time. But when the building shook, I hit the record button out of nowhere, just instincts. And I got the roof flying over my head. And I see Dane real frightened looking at me. "Are you all right, man? Are you all right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." But then his reporter instincts came along and they were like, "Did you get the shot? Did you get the shot?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think I did." Other than I was fearing for my life, I think I was.
We definitely were at ground zero here in Punta Gorda. Take a look. You may remember we were talking on the phone and we said the roof came flying off of this hotel as we were inside. Look at that. Those are just shells of these rooms right there right now.
We were planning. We had locations, safe locations where we were. We had fallback positions when the storms hit. We were prepared for this hurricane. It was an old firehouse, a pre-World War II firehouse, so it was just a big slab of concrete, certainly a safe position, had a niche cut out in it. Lou picked this out for a reason because he could stand in the niche, and he was bone dry through Francis, and here I was standing out in the driving range for about 16 hours.
It just won't stop out here.
Take a look down here. We want to show you, this is the storm drain. You can see the amount of water that's actually been running off from the roadway.
Tom Terry wasn't lying when he said the worst is yet to come here. This is as far as I'm venturing out of our nook right now because the winds are just too strong. You wouldn't be able to hear me and probably not see me. I might get blown away, but you can see what's going on out here.
Right now, this is just driving along US 1 in Indian River. This home had most of its ceiling, this roof tiles knocked off. There you can see the wind conditions along the road, trees just whipping back and forth. There you see a boat just leaning against the power lines.
We're definitely getting at least hurricane strength winds here in Cocoa Beach in this part of the area where the wind is actually coming directly off of the ocean. Now, we take a step back in here and it actually calms down quite a bit, but we've got a huge barrier here that's protecting us, and you can only imagine what the homes up and down the coast here who don't have this barrier are going through right now. They're having to deal with those winds.
You couldn't look in the direction of the ocean much of the time because the winds were so intense. And you didn't just have the rain, which obviously is pelting against your face, and I'm sure other people have described felt like, you know, pins and needles. But you also had the sand, and you could taste the salt water.
The wind is still gusting pretty strong here. We're right at Lake Dora, right in the middle of Lake County. This wind has been gusting all day long and beating up Lake County.
This is the heart, the beginning of the infamous river walk, and unfortunately for the folks here, this is just the beginning of a long, long night ahead. Wind gusts 20, almost 30 miles an hour. And what is this water doing? It is coming ashore, and it is coming ashore quickly.
The rain has been very steady. I don't know if you can see that the rain is actually going in this direction as opposed to what we're used to. Yeah, the waves are crashing. You can see some white spots here. You can see some downed palm trees. You can't see much of the seawall because, well, that seawall is pretty much underwater at this point. But I'm going to attempt to walk on Seminole Boulevard here so you can see how deep it is.
Gustavo Almodovar was standing in water above his knees.
I think this is the first break that we've had here in probably 16 or 18 hours.
The problem for many College Park residents today is just the amount of water that's fallen here. You can see where this backyard looks more like a pond. This tree certainly couldn't take all of the water. It was uprooted and unfortunately came falling right on top of this house.
And earlier today from Sky Witness 9, you can see what happened to some of the places. This is the First Baptist Church in Cocoa Beach. The steeple came right off, went right down through the roof.
We went inside to take a look and see what it looks like from the inside, and the steeple actually went through the roof and landed in the balcony area.
What I'm going to do is walk off the edge here and show you how much beach has been eroded away. And you can see, I don't even know if you can see me anymore, but I'm 6 feet tall, and this comes up to about my chest. That's how much beach, that's how much good real estate they've lost here.
This house we passed by earlier, and we could see the roof kind of hanging on, and we came back a little bit later, and the whole thing was down. I mean, we're talking a span of 10 minutes or so.
A few days earlier, I had done this stand-up about the storm surge coming in and what it would do, and we panned the camera up and we got a shot of that building. We went back a few days later and I did the same stand-up, only this time the whole front of the building had been sheared away and the top of the thing was completely gone, and it really gave you the sense of how much the hurricanes changed life everywhere.